in 300 something. It's the oldest church in the world. The Holy Sepulchre was built by her. That's where she found the 3 crosses, it's believed. And the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was built in the 4th century. I don't remember the dates. But who is going to take care of them when all the Christians leave, plus all the other holy places we have, besides these 2 major ones, if the Christians leave? So that's a very important thing. And our last, here we have a table of how much aid the U.S. has given to Israel, and it's 101,190,000.
No, it's 101 billion.
Billion, yeah. 190, I can't figure this, but it's too high.
101 billion, 190 million point
All right, I don't know how much that is.
But the important number here is that 75% of the aid these days is earmarked for Israel to buy the latest U.S. military weapons. I mean, that is an obligation. So basically, it's a subsidy to the U.S. military enterprise.
Okay. These figures are beyond my understanding. So, anyway, General Petraeus has made this statement to the Senate Armed Services Committee, and he is telling us what the story is, and it's very, very true. He says the conflict foments anti-American sentiment. Enduring hostilities between Israel and some of its neighbors present distinct challenges to our ability to advance our interests in the area. Conflict foments anti-American sentiment due to a perception of U.S. favoritism for Israel. That is the main crux of the problem. Due to a perception, Arab anger over the Palestinian question limits the strength and depth of U.S. partnership with governments and peoples in the Middle East, and weakens the legitimacy of moderate regimes in the Arab world, and then Al-Qaeda and other militant groups exploit that anger and mobilize support. The conflict gives Iran influence in the Arab world through Lebanese, Hezbollah, and Hamas. And I heard the other day on radio that terrorists are not born, they are made, because of injustice. So when we say the terrorists and Al-Qaeda, and we are creating them because of injustice. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Lucy. It was wonderful. I guess if people have patience, we'll continue.
Do you need the seventh inning stretch or something?
Yeah, well, you can stand up. Okay, should we take a 5-minute break? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, 5-minute break. Okay, let's start.
All right, well, welcome back. First, I would like to start to thank you for being here on behalf of your brothers and sisters in Palestine and everywhere else in the world who are from Palestinian origin. And I think we are here today not to convince you to be pro and against, but to be for justice, for peace, for humanity. So I want to thank you on behalf of all the Palestinian people for being ambassadors of human goodwill and working for peace in the world. Also, I am a member of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and the Lutheran Church in America also been doing a lot of work to address the issue of Palestine and Israel. And we are saying we need to see a viable Palestinian state, but also we would like to see the security of Israel. So we are not supporting one against the other. We are trying to be the voice of reason and peace and justice for the sake of all both peoples who exist in a very small piece of land that does not exceed the size of New Jersey. That's what's the size of Palestine and Israel. I am here to speak about my experience as a Palestinian Christian. And when I say I am a Palestinian Christian, usually the first question I'm asked, when did you convert to Islam? from Islam. And I did not convert, but I was born a Christian into a Christian family, into the Greek Orthodox tradition. And our family goes back to many generations in our local congregation in Beit Jala, which is on the outskirts of Bethlehem. Actually, our church in Beit Jala is older than America. And we were speaking earlier, when I say I was born in Bethlehem, people say, oh, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I said, no, it's the real Bethlehem where Christ was born. And it's interesting when I go to teach in Sunday schools, and I tell the kids, listen, look at me. This is how Jesus looked. Not blonde hair, blue eyes, but this is how Jesus looked. Maybe he didn't have a big nose and going bald, but this is how he looked. Okay? So this is how Jesus looked. And I thought that maybe long time ago, Jesus and my great grandfather played soccer in the backyard. Who knows? I am a Palestinian Christian who was born and raised in Palestine. I was born in 1968. So I was born and raised all my life under the Israeli occupation. I never lived as a free man till I left Palestine. And I accepted a call to come to the US to be a mission developer to reach out to the Arab Middle Eastern community in America and start Arabic-speaking Lutheran congregations. My family, and my sisters, my extended family, who still live in Palestine, they still live under this regime of the Israeli mechanism of occupation. The wall that is being built today is limiting their freedom, and it's like living in a big prison. My brother has a car before he came to the US, and he can drive it for 2 miles this way and 2 miles this way. I said, this is great, you change oil every 10 years. Because there are really no much long spaces to go. My family depends on the olive wood carvings. And all of our work was into Bethlehem and the Jerusalem area to sell for the tourists. But when the wall was built, and my father and my brother didn't go to Jerusalem anymore because the Israeli government refused to give them permission to go through the checkpoints, the economy of the Christians in Bethlehem died because of this wall. And many people in Bethlehem, especially Christian families, depend on the tourism industry. And now because of this wall, they are suffering financially, and many of them are forced to leave their homes and go somewhere else to look for a better life for themselves and for their children. What's amazing, that when I came to America and became an American citizen, I cannot use my American citizenship to travel to Israel. Israel does not recognize my American citizenship. I cannot fly from JFK, New York to Ben Gurion, Tel Aviv. I have, as an American citizen, to go to Jordan, and through Jordan go over the bridge into the West Bank. And when I go to the West Bank, I am not allowed to go to Jerusalem unless I have a permit from the Israeli soldiers to go through the checkpoint. So Israel, even though I am an American now with American citizenship, but because I'm from Palestinian origin and background, Israel still denies my rights as an American citizen. Yet, if let's say somebody was born in Russia, who never been to Israel, and he claims to be a Jew, the moment they go to Israel and step on the grounds and they ask for citizenship, they will be granted citizenship. I was born in Bethlehem, and I don't have a citizenship. I have only something called travel document to allow me to travel. Even though now as an American citizen, I still don't have a home. I don't have a place to belong because Israel denies that right for me as a Palestinian Christian. So,
excuse me.
yes.
Is that right denied because you came to the United States?
No, because I was born as a Palestinian. So just to go back and reflect a little bit about my life growing up in Palestine. As I said, I grew up in a Christian family in the Bethlehem area, and my family